In this video, we will learn about reflex action. There are certain body responses which are immediate and which does not involve thinking process, and these responses are known as reflex actions. These responses are controlled by reflex centers present in the medulla oblongata region of brain and the spinal cord of the nervous system. Thus, a reflex action is a spontaneous, involuntary, and automatic response without the will of an organism or without the intervention of conscious decision making. Now, it is under the control of reflex centers present in the spinal cord and the medulla. Now, if we take, there are various examples of reflex action. So, examples include sneezing, coughing, vomiting, which are under cranial reflexes. Blinking of eye is also a cranial reflex. Withdrawal of hand on touching a hot object. Withdrawal of leg when stepped on a pointed object while walking barefoot, that is spinal reflex. Watering of mouth at the sight of tasty food is also a spinal reflex. Now, if I take reflex action, it follows a particular path. So, the pathway followed by a sensory nerve in carrying the sensation from the receptor to the medulla or spinal cord, and the path followed by the motor nerve carrying the order from spinal cord to effector organ. The whole path is termed as reflex arc. So here we can see when a hot object is touched, the receptors will be receiving the stimulus. The sensory nerves carry the impulse to the spinal cord, and through the spinal cord, after processing, the motor nerves receive the impulse or the response to the muscles. So entire path is termed as reflex arc. Now, if we see the components of reflex arc, first is the receptor or sensory organ like skin. It receives the stimulus and initiates a sensory impulse. Second is the sensory or afferent nerve, carries the impulse from receptor organ to medulla or spinal cord. Third is the integration or processing center, that is the spinal cord and medulla. Here, the sensory impulses change into motor impulses. These are the main reflex centers. Next, the impulse goes to motor or efferent nerve. It conducts it from the spinal cord to the effector organ. Last is the effector organ itself, and it generates the response to the stimulus, and it could be a muscle or a gland. Now, if we see the entire path of nerve impulse in a reflex arc, first we have stimulus. Stimulus is received by receptor organ, then it is taken by sensory nerves and it goes to sensory neuron of the spinal cord, and then spinal cord processes it and gives it to motor neuron of the motor nerve, and then it goes to effector organ and response will be generated for a particular stimulus. I hope this topic is clear to you. Thank you.